you know, Brighton at that time didn't hold enough for me, and I needed to break out. I needed to go to the city, so I moved to London very early. I was 18, didn't carry on with further education. I worked in a bunch of restaurants in Covent Garden, and that was an absolute riot. And I made a fortune because back in the day, with lots of tips and lots of lovely money, it was great. And I did that for a little while, but quite quickly realized it wasn't that fulfilling. And I knew I had something creative in me, but I'd never kind of had a careers officer that guided me, or anybody that really guided me in discovering who I was. I just don't think it was a thing back then, you know,
Yeah.
unless you had a good education, unless you had a good teacher, unless you had a good careers officer, which I just didn't. I wanted to do something creative. So I went to the photographer's gallery. I'd always loved photography, always loved imagery. Went to the photographer's gallery and looked through their vacant jobs in a folder. I remember it being in a folder. To go and have a look at the jobs, you'd have to get, there's this big folder and it had these plastic pages with all the jobs in there. And I wanted to get into photography or something. I didn't quite know what. And there was a job for an American photographer called David Montgomery. And I went for the job, and I got it. I blagged my way in, basically. I talked my way into the job, and that he was going to hire me. He wasn't totally sure. His agent was more sure than him, and so they hired me. They gave me a shot at it. And David had a studio on Edith Grove, just off the King's Road, in West London. And
Lovely.
you know, that was a great experience. So I ran his studio, and I did that for a couple of years, and that was booking hair and makeup and making sure the budgets were all okay. And so it was the beginning of my production experience. So it was a perfect start. And then from there, I've never been that serious. I like to have fun in life, as you well know, and I didn't want to go head on into a serious career at that point. I was 21. And so I moved to New York.